That's a camera.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Halfy Hour, everybody. My name is Dan Rubenstein, joined, as always, by Matt Ufford.
Hello.
He is either the halfy or the hour part. I don't know. Which? That's weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, I was trying to go to a place that would be funny, and I failed.
And you know what? I let you fail.
Thank you.
I didn't go with it.
No, I don't need the training
wheels. I was just like, what are you doing? No.
Yeah,
not with it.
He sold the joke like Reggie Miller.
True. No, he's a much better actor than I. Here with Mike Prada. Mike Prada, you know, because he's the NBA editor at SB Nation, all things NBA. He's all over the site. He is overseeing. He is writing. He is the maestro of professional
Breaking
basketball.
down tape.
Breaking down the tape. So he is in New York. We have had him in the studio all day. It's been a joy and a pleasure. And this wasn't planned. The blue shirts.
The blue shirts. And it's not just us. It's the entire office.
No.
There are at least like 7 employees all sitting together, all with blue shirts.
It's very clearly Blues
But
Day.
it's not the same tint of blue.
True.
I mean, that's what, royal blue?
Is that royal or is that navy?
It's not navy.
Navy's much darker?
Yeah.
Okay.
Feels like that's purpley blue. It feels like royal.
Mike and I are closer.
Yeah.
With our shade.
Yeah.
We're here today to talk.
This is a great show so far, by the way.
Entry into madness. We're here to talk about NBA fights because it is the NBA playoffs. And look, by the time you watch this, the playoffs are going to be completely different if you're not watching it this very moment. So we're going to talk about the playoffs and what has happened thus far, but we're also going to talk about a thing that I think is very important in NBA lore. Fighting, physical altercations. Who would be in the 2013 playoffs, who do you think has been at the center of the most physical activity? Is it Zach Randolph?
It's probably Zach Randolph.
Right.
But of the guys still left, Tyler Hansbrough, everybody hates Tyler Hansbrough.
They get upset at him.
It's funny, like when...
He's got a punchable face.
He's got a punchable face.
It's funny, when Chris Anderson and Tyler Hansbrough fought, my first thought was, Chris Anderson's fighting for the honor of 425 other basketball players.
Is Tyler Hansbrough the most punchable person in the NBA?
It's got to be. I mean...
Who else is up there?
I mean... I can't think of anyone off the top of my head. I mean, I think it was really... I forget what reporter posed to Frank Vogel, and I think he said basically, like, does Tyler Hansbrough annoy players?
Right.
Like, he pisses players off,
But that's what you
right?
kind of want, though, right? In a play, you should have, like, one guy on your team that gets under...
The instigator.
An instigator that maybe brings out the worst in another player's personality on the other team.
Yeah.
There's value.
There is value. The problem is that he doesn't have any other value.
Correct.
So,
It's grit, it's grind, it's scrappiness. I don't know what else it is. So yeah, Tyler Hansbrough.
I like the Birdman Hansbrough face-off just because he's like the painted lady at the carnival, and like Hansbrough is like the whitest piece of white bread there ever was.
And when you see them face to face, and I told this to I think Jimmy Trena on the Twitters, it wasn't in person or anything cool like that. They were like the opposite shoulders of the conscience. Tyler Hansbrough, when you just look at them, one of them looks very angry, and he's the more likable one. So go figure. So we're talking NBA fights. I'm trying to remember fights this past season of note.
There aren't too many. The only
Not
one
a ton.
Nobody fights in the NBA
Ever
anymore.
since the Malice at the Palace, like the penalties are too strong.
There's a hesitation.
There's
penalties
a
are too
huge
strong.
hesitation.
And then there's the whole leaving the bench thing, of course, and the stigma, especially in the playoffs after the Steve Nash incident a few years ago against the Spurs. So not as fun, the fights and the brawls.
The one I remember, which really wasn't much of anything, was I think in mid-season when Steph Curry and I want to say it was Roy Hibbert, and Steph Curry's coming after Roy Hibbert, even though Roy Hibbert's like way bigger than him.
Right.
Steph Curry is 135 pounds.
Yeah, he is.
And,
A brilliant basketball player, but
and everybody kind of freaked out because it was near the stands, but it really wasn't anything. And I just remember that night working, and it's like, oh, we got to get up this fight. We got to get up quick. People are really going to care about it. And then I look at it after, and it was like, that's what we rushed to get up?
Yep.
That was pretty lame.
Who's the best non-fighter fighter? Who's the best, like, hold me back, and doesn't actually fight, but has, like, the sensibility or has, like, the urge to fight, but can't actually do it?
I thought it was really funny. I know it's kind of cheating because he did it last night, but when Birdman was trying to fight Tyler Hansbrough last night, and the ref kind of tries to hold him off, and, obviously the ref has an advantage. He's pushing back, and,
Right.
But... the referee literally carried Chris Anderson from like the
enormous human,
the 3-point line to like half court.
Right.
It's like that. It was that easy to box Chris Anderson out of a fight.
So the best non-fighter fighter,
Probably
Birdman
Chris Anderson.
All right. So let's talk historically. When NBA fights come to mind, there are all sorts of, obviously in recent history, nothing's going to top just for pure importance, the Malice at the Palace. It just altered so much.
Not even recent history, NBA history, period.
Right.
Yeah,
The trajectory of so many players and so many situations were affected by that. But outside of the Malice at the Palace, which we'll get to, I suppose, what stands out to you?
I think my favorite fight is one that I don't think we really talk about a lot. It was, I think, the 2003 preseason. And again, this is preseason. There's a fight in preseason. I think it was between Doug Christie and Rick Fox. And, you know, they had that great series the year before, the 7-game series that Sacramento should have won. But, you know, obviously Game 6, there was kind of a lot of shadiness there. And I think Rick Fox kind of gave Doug Christie an elbow. He was playing him tight, you know, going for this ball. And Doug Christie wasn't too happy. And so Rick Fox kind of leans in there, and he's like, he wants to hit him, but he doesn't want to make it seem like he hit him. So he does this thing where he kind of like has this
open... It's a face shove.
It's like an open hand. And he kind of like goes up like this, and then he goes like this as if he didn't possibly hit Doug Christie there.
Whoops.
What happened?
I didn't mean to put my hand right in your face. I'm sorry. And of course, Doug Christie comes back and uppercuts him, and that kind of sets it off. But see, the other great part about it is, I guess they're not rolling this part.
Right.
They go all the way in the tunnel, and they start fighting again.
Because what else are you going to do in the NBA?
We're already kicked out.
Yeah. But this is like, remember when Carmelo and Kevin Garnett had that little like Honey Nut Cheerios thing? This was actually a fight. Here it is.
Back into the. This is October.
The other thing that's worth mentioning, wait, let's see if it rolls forward. Here comes Shaq, and nobody wants to fuck with Shaq.
No.
So there he is. He's just getting people out of the way.
But the outfit that he's wearing is like the shirt and pants are the exact same pattern. This is like early 2000s.
Yeah.
And this is preseason Shaq, so it's still fat Shaq.
Yeah,
he hasn't played himself into shape yet.
He's injured. He has an injured toe. And all the Sacramento Kings come to defend their guy, and nobody on the Lakers comes to defend Rick Fox. Wow. They all just stand on the bench. That was the year the Lakers, didn't win their fourth straight championship, and chemistry issues were the reason.
Chemistry
I'm
issues.
just saying.
That's what happens when you're too good looking, Rick Fox.
He is.
Yeah. All right. So what else we have? See, I will always go back to Alonzo Mourning, Knicks, Van Gundy hanging on Alonzo Mourning, Jeff Van Gundy, right there gets mixed up.
These are the best sound effects ever.
Hey,
and then he
alone,
slides,
buddy.
and then down I don't know what the move is. Is there a point where Jeff Van Gundy has to bail? Like, why you're holding on, but you don't want to get up. You don't want to start rolling around in the midst of everything.
Does he get a bloody nose instantly?
Yeah, no, he got a bloody nose as soon as other people started fighting. That's how it works with Jeff Van Gundy. It's still funny to me.
I don't understand why he went after the other team's guy, though. It's not like he's grabbing like Larry Johnson's leg. He's grabbing Alonzo Mourning's ankle.
Well, I think he was trying to grab body to move everybody away. And
lost his footing.
Lost his footing.
And one more time.
Yeah, and then it's just Koala Van Gundy.
Yeah, see,
Hey, leave him alone.
so he falls down.
Yeah.
And then he grabs the first thing that he sees, because I guess you can't tell people's feet if they're on your team or not. And he grabs Alonzo Mourning.
Probably trying not to get trampled.
Yeah. I mean,
he just gets his chest caved in by like a 16-foot shoe.
I wonder, how quickly did he go after his asthma inhaler after he got back to the bench? Like, guys, give me a second, guys. All right. So what else stands out? We had Shaq and Barkley.
That was good.
Shaq.
I did not realize this one. Like, this was a surprise to me.
There was Malone and Shaq a lot of the time. They got into it, but here's Shaq.
It's like Barkley like threw the basketball at Shaq, right?
What are you doing? Yeah.
Hey, baby.
They have a show together.
And now they're co-hosts.
They're co-hosts.
They are.
And like I would just be like every day, I'd be like, hey, remember when Charles threw the ball in your face, Shaq, and then you punched him?
Charles, to me, seems like the scarier opponent to fight than Shaq. Shaq's fighting never, even though he technically was, Shaq Fu.
Yes.
He was Shaq Fu.
Yeah.
But I feel like you don't become Shaq Fu because you're good. You become Shaq Fu because you want to kind of convince people you are.
That's actually not a real martial art.
It's not that good. It's not that serious.
Shaq, I have a brown belt in Shaq Fu.
Well, he's going to be a sheriff. So he has to know
Is
how
that
to
still
fight
going to
him.
happen?
I mean, I think so. I'm not sure.
He was going after pedophiles? There was something.
It was something.
Sexual criminals.
I guess, those tend not to be as people as big as Shaq.
I remember
so it's not like he has to, fight guys his own size or something.
There was a story. Yeah, Shaq. Yeah, he never really had to train to become a fighter. Like, he never had to, like,
he's just-
fight to, like, get his way onto the court.
Gigantic human being.
Yeah, nobody ever messed with him. So when he actually had to come into that situation, he was not prepared.
Charles Barkley threw a man through a window.
Yes, he did.
Like,
Charles Barkley has committed a number of awesome activities.
he is not afraid of Shaquille O'Neal. That takes a big, heavy swinging pair
Right.
to just be like, I'm just going to throw a basketball right at Shaq's face. I do not care.
No, and I think Charles Barkley is more of like a square. Like, he's built more like a 3-dimensional square than Shaq.
He's
is.
dense.
And
Yeah,
that's
He was
that's
the one who
big
said that
Shaq.
I'm not a role model.
Role
right?
model,
Yeah.
not
Man,
a role model.
what an
model.
epic thing to say, just like on TV. I'm not a role model.
It was
Yeah.
in a commercial too. And the other thing is that's fat Charles Barkley at the end of
Yes.
his career.
Yeah.
Like, he's got to be at least 30 pounds heavier than what he was like in his prime.
76 for Charles Barkley was a scud missile.
Yeah.
Like, he was only like 6'4" and 5/8", but an absolute. I mean, he actually had like the pointy bald head too, which
Yeah.
helps.
Had
which helps.
ups.
Yeah, had ups and just had a giant ass. Mm-hmm.
But he wasn't that fat.
No.
No.
He was pretty lean. you
No,
know,
it was
back in the
a
day.
very good. He was like the weight was distributed very well.
Right.
So yeah, that was Fat Barkley, where he was just like jacking threes
Yeah.
at the end of his career with Clyde Drexler. But still, fun to go after Shaq. That the cojones have to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. What else we have? I should know this.
Yeah,
'cause I'm
did you guys
hosting the
have a
show.
list? I
We
didn't
have-
curate this list.
Yeah.
There's a really good one with Jerry Stackhouse. I think is the all-time best fighter in
And
basketball.
singer.
And
No,
singer.
he gets in there.
Like, there are guys like most of these guys don't know how to fight.
Right.
Like Jerry Stackhouse knows how to fight, and there's this great
He's
fight.
he's an MMA fighter on the side.
Yeah. Like, so, and he sings a national anthem too.
Yep.
It's like you never expect that.
Has he sung for Brooklyn this season?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And have you been at? Because Matt is a partial season ticket holder. Have you
Yeah.
been at a game in which he sung?
I was. It was the first game of the season, I think.
Really? Okay, so he opened it up.
Or
How-
no. I was at a game.
or
where-
maybe your first game of the season, or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
How was his voice?
He was good.
He was on the right
He's
register.
Not, I mean, like, he's not like gonna have his own solo career.
Right.
But like,
He remembered the lyrics.
he'd be solid at karaoke.
Yeah, he'd be a good time.
Yeah.
Didn't he? I think he sung during one of the playoff games.
Yeah.
Was it Game 7 or I'm
so
trying to remember which one it was.
That's amazing.
I mean, that's serious though. Like that's most people are in the stands in that game.
I
you
dig
got to
it.
really like step up there.
You got to bring it. Here's my question about a current NBA player. Just because I watched him in college, and I don't know if he's been in a pro fight, but I feel like he's pretty well suited. Ivan Johnson, Atlanta Hawks.
Well, didn't he get thrown out of like?
He gets thrown out.
No, he got-
in overseas.
overseas. Was it for flicking someone off? It was for something like that.
Yeah, it was. I think a ref. It
was a ref.
He flipped
Okay.
off a ref in like the Philippines.
Yeah.
You don't. People get stabbed in the Philippines just going to work.
Yeah.
Like they're a
For much
nation.
less.
They're a nation of tiny knives.
They're stabby.
Yeah.
Honestly, flipping off someone in the Philippines is not that big of a deal.
I can't-
I can't believe he got kicked out for that. There
I
must have been something else going on because, like, if that's all you're doing in the Filipino league, there's got to be way worse things you could do to get kicked out.
Wikipedia says there's a death penalty for flipping people off in the Philippines. So
Thank you, Rob. No,
I don't think he's been in a fight though. I
I
can't
feel
remember.
like he would acquit himself quite well. Is
think-
what I'm saying.
I'll be honest. When this show started, I did not know that there was a basketball league in the Philippines.
There's a basketball league everywhere.
I thought
serious,
I thought the
too.
Philippines was just whorehouses and karaoke bars.
and apparently basketball. Pro
They're really,
basketball leagues.
they're really serious about basketball. over
They're really serious about a lot of things.
Yeah.
Such as "Don't Sing My Way" by Frank Sinatra
Oh,
at
yeah.
karaoke, or you'll get stabbed.
Yeah, that's like a thing. You're
They
not
have
suppo-
they have
Really?
karaoke gangs.
Yeah, there are. It is a. You can
Wait,
if
so
you
how
do
does
it
this
wrong.
work? I never knew this.
So it's huge in the Philippines. Matt knows
All right.
about this better than I do,
I'm
but he's going to
just
reference.
Googling here. So
But
you
yes,
go ahead,
there
start.
was an incident over my way because it is apparently like some sort of sacred karaoke song in the South, whatever, Indian Ocean.
Sinatra song. This is a New York Times article from 2010.
Mm-hmm.
how do you have like a sacred karaoke song?
I don't know what it is about my way for some reason, and I'm also making this up.
All right, this is Rodolfo Gregorio,
he had it coming.
a barber. I used to like my way, but after all the trouble, I stopped singing it, he said. You
the
can
trouble.
get killed. The authorities do not know exactly how many people have been killed warbling My Way in karaoke bars over the years in Philippines, or how many fatal fights it has fueled, but the news media have recorded at least half a dozen victims in the past decade, and includes them in a subcategory of crime dubbed the My Way killings.
It's a thing.
Really?
Yeah. Here's how you can learn about foreign basketball leagues, Matt. You went to Northwestern. I know you're not a huge Northwestern basketball fan, but at the end of the season, when players generally are not drafted, same goes for Oregon. Where did you go to school?
I did not go to a D1 school.
Yeah, okay, so you didn't
So
go to...
nobody. There was one guy. I went to a D3 school. There was
Okay.
one guy who played in like the 3rd division overseas somewhere.
Okay.
But I don't know where.
I'm saying, so outside of like the known nations in Europe that have really high level, your Spain, Greece, Turkish basketball, I think is pretty high level.
French
basketball, sure. Every country has a league that will take that, has spots for American players coming out of college. And I look with Oregon players where they're going to go. And it was like, oh, Adam Zahn signed a contract in Iraq. Adam Zahn signed a contract in Syria. Adam Zahn signed a contract in Cuba. Like, they all have leagues accepting. I mean, cool
Cuba wouldn't be
cars.
bad.
No, you got good drinks. Old 50s cars.
Syria though.
Yeah,
don't
no,
know
there's
why
like
you'd wanna play
Syria,
there.
and then there's like Taiwan and Thailand. They all have leagues.
See, what if you could play in Syria? Like, wouldn't you just say like, you know what? I don't want to play basketball anymore. I
But
want to
the
do something
problem
else
is,
rather than playing Syria.
there will be one guy when the Syrian club drafts you, who they're like, oh, this guy was in our league and he made his way into the D League and then got like
that's
a
true.
few 10. So it's like you're
Yeah.
tricked into thinking that there's a path.
Also, it's a paycheck, and for a lot of these guys, they're 22 years old, 21
Yeah.
years old, never really been around the country, and then someone sells you on it.
Yeah.
It's there was a great piece in SB Nation. One of our long forms
Mm-hmm.
was the Croatian
It was Slovakian.
Slovakian, yeah.
league, and it's just like, hey, he was looking for a job, and like got called in mid-season. Turns out
It happens.
it's a mining town in Slovakia. You live here now.
Oh, God.
And they have flames in the stands. But still, that's Slovakia, not
Yeah.
Syria. I mean,
Yeah,
Syria though.
Syria.
Syria's rough.
There's a war there right now.
That's
you
tough.
don't want to play in that league.
I don't even know who. There's like people don't understand the sides of the conflict going on in Syria. That's a tough place to play basketball.
In Papua New Guinea, there's a pygmy basketball league.
There's a pygmy basketball league in How
think
do you
it's
pronounce
Papua
it?
New Guinea.
Papua, yeah, New Guinea.
Yeah, I just made that up. So I butchered the country, but it doesn't
And
matter
we're
anyway.
gonna judge. Okay. All right.
I thought he was serious. I thought he was like,
There's no way there's a New Guinea basketball league.
No. They're I'm telling you, there
Probably,
definitely
it probably
is.
is a league, but there's no way that America
There are
has ever
18
played.
Northwestern basketball players in that league.
What
as of
country
this
does not have a basketball league right now? The three
Iceland.
of
Iceland.
No, there's definitely an
Icelandic
Iceland
league?
There's got to be.
It's a pretty developed country.
They only have like 500,000 people.
I'm going to say
Probably-
Guatemala.
I would say like a bunch of the African nations. Probably
Yeah.
don't have leagues.
Botswana.
Yeah.
Lesotho.
There's no Djibouti basketball league.
See, look up Djibouti with a D, Robbie.
I think it's Djiboutian.
Djibouti. Okay. The Malice at the Palace. Obviously, the most well publicized brawl in NBA history.
I rewatched that this morning, and man, like I kind of forgot like just the way that it
The
boiled
scope
over.
and
The scope. Steven Jackson losing his mind.
yeah.
Dun 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 dun.
And there goes our test.
Dun, dun, dun.
It's the guy that throws the beer can on it. The beer.
That's what I was saying. When
Yeah.
it's
Can on
all
him, like-
over,
Oh,
and then they're getting the popcorn and the beer coming through the tunnel.
yeah.
That's. I mean, there's nothing that we can really say that hasn't already been said about it. But man, that escalated quickly.
That was bananas.
That was bananas. What else do we have on our list, if anything?
There's one fight I remember. I think it was the '94 playoffs. This was the year after Jordan retired, and it was Bulls and Knicks. And I want to say it was Derek Harper, and I forget who the other Bulls player
Kind of
was.
a Hitler mustache, right?
Yeah,
Derek Harper.
Yeah, yeah. That's how you recognize
before
him.
he was the bull that had the Hitler mustache
Rubenstein.
before Michael Jordan.
Yes.
He inspired MJ.
Yeah.
No, so there
There's
was
Derek Harper.
It was Derek Harper, and I want to say some guy that nobody would have ever heard of. I forget who it was.
Okay.
And David Stern was at that game.
Ooh, he always seems to be at the wrong game.
He's
Yeah.
at the wrong.
He was just sitting there watching like, ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think this was like a year where they were trying to crack down on fighting. I'm not sure, but
Oh,
I
is
think it
this?
was. And so it wasn't like really that big of a fight. They just kind of ran into each other, but they end up tackling each other right in front of David Stern.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look really closely at the video, there's like a shot of David Stern, and he has this shocked face on. He's like, "Oh no!"
He's like, I look totally neutered right
I
now.
am in the frame.
He's like in the third row in the same section,
Oh.
watching this all happen in front of, and that's the one thing I remember about that fight. Otherwise it wasn't that remarkable, but
right.
right in front of David Stern.
As we went through these fights,
Yeah.
so many, like just some of them were just altercations, some of them were nasty elbows. Just remembered how much I hated Karl Malone growing up.
Man,
The Jazz in general, pretty dirty.
Stockton, Dick, the
And Hornacek, I don't know if we have the Hornacek clip,
Hornacek.
but he gets it pretty nicely.
Ugh.
Who was that? The Stackhouse
Jerry
fight? That was the
Stackhouse,
Stackhouse
yeah.
fight.
there we go.
2 right uppercuts to his head.
Before he was in that fight, Jeff Hornacek looked like Antonio Banderas, and now look at him. Now look at him.
He was always horrible to look at.
Yeah.
With like the worst haircut too.
I think he's.
He had a big nose, and I know big noses because
Hey,
I'm Jewish.
hey. Yeah.
I know big noses
I know
very
it's
well.
true. New coach of the Phoenix Suns.
That's true.
Where was he before?
Utah Jazz assistant.
He was an assistant for the Jazz. Okay, and
Naturally.
then made his way to the Suns. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So Stackhouse, we're saying best fighter just in terms of aggression.
Although if David West or Udonis Haslam, like there was that moment the other night where they were like looking like they wanted to fight. If one of them fought, I bet they'd be pretty good too.
They look like they're well built.
yeah.
I have a hard time taking David West seriously because of the Egyptian nature, the pharaoh-like nature of his goatee.
Yeah, it is. It is very Egyptian.
Not such a good like. There are better things to do with facial hair than what he's doing.
I like it.
Really? No,
I
you
like
don't.
it.
No, you
He does.
don't.
He does look kind of menacing with it.
It's very.
Really?
I don't think
I don't
it
know. I
looks
think he
nice,
does.
but it looks very NBA.
Yeah.
Like there's a certain like 1997 NBA. Like I don't know if Theo Ratliff had anything that looked like that, but I imagine he probably did. I imagine that there was a situation.
Also, have you heard David West talk?
no.
His voice is so deep. It's like it's
Oh, that
always
always freaks
cracking
me
and
out.
everything. And when I hear deep, like a voice that deep, I always think like he's been in a bunch of fights.
You've got quite the baritone going on.
it's nice.
I've been in a fight,
When was the last fight you were in,
2nd grade.
and did you win?
No comment.
What were the terms? What were the reasons for the fight?
I honestly don't remember. I took one of those forget-me-nows and I
Wow.
don't remember it.
Were you clocked?
No comment.
No comment.
You're just fishing around.
I wanna know.
A painful childhood memory.
Listen, this is a safe space. This is a safe space for all involved. Did you grow up getting in fights?
Nah.
Neither did I.
No.
But
I
you-
won in like 3rd grade.
How'd you do?
It was over so fast. We got broken up. We were just kind of like choking. Like it was like a choke/push thing that just didn't even really come to anything.
And you grew up with a sister too, so no
Yeah.
real like fights at home.
Yeah, I pushed her head into the garage door once.
This was last year.
No, it was. I think I was like 10. She was a
Okay.
couple years older, but
What was that over?
I don't know.
Just normal.
Stupid kid
Normal-
shit. you
yeah.
know?
How do you remember what you fought over when you were 10 years
I don't know.
old?
Maybe some people have really good memories.
I can't remember any of that
I can't
stuff.
remember last week.
Do you know who has a really good memory? This is very random.
My wife.
Does she?
Oh gosh.
Jenny's got it. She remembers everything. You're like,
She's like, and that was the night that I was wearing this outfit.
well, so there's like people have good memories, and then there's people that have like the scary. They remember what they've done every day of their life. So you're like March 13th, 1986, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I was at school. We had a spelling test. I spelled caterpillar wrong." There are people that can do that.
It's messed up.
I've
I
never
saw-
met anyone who could do
I
that.
saw a story on a famous person that can do that. Mary Lou Henner.
Oh, I did see that. I saw that
Boom.
clip. Yeah.
Yeah. Remembers
Really?
everything that has happened in her life.
That is really creepy.
I defy anybody to do a sports show talking about David West goatee and Mary Lou Henner in the same like general
You
thought.
know what's messed up? Like she became an actress. Like you have like a perfect recall. Like your mind
Yeah.
could have done amazing things for the planet, and you, actress. Okay.
Yeah.
She also had a horrible temper and she got in fights all the time. So that
Did
relates
she?
to this.
They
No,
kinda-
Robbie
not at
hasn't
all.
said like the last 5 things he
Nothing.
said have been
I
lies.
keep waiting for him to come through with something insightful.
He's very believable.
Just biting on the pump fake every time.
yeah, it's true. Well, I don't see him, so I can't read the face, and then I just buy it.
Whoa. Speaking of pump fakes, something that
Yeah.
we should have gotten the clip of to load in here. We
Yeah.
see not Kenny Chesney, Kenny Rogers pump faking
Oh,
and
yeah.
then Jordan biting on it.
Yep.
Oh man.
That was fun times.
He had a lane to the basket. I don't know why he didn't take it. Just kind of settled for the 2-point shot.
You don't
you know?
You don't take Michael Jordan to the hole if you're Kenny Rogers.
Who is Who is the current NBA players? Who makes up the matchup you'd most like to see, like in an octagon?
Like a fighting octagon.
Fight.
just a random octagon.
Who would you like to see in a geometric situation with 8 sides?
Pick the players and a shape for them to fight inside.
Yeah. So who?
David West would be one.
David West, just because of his low voice, has you convinced?
Look, he freaks me out.
Okay. David West against who?
I don't want to mess with David West.
Right.
Let me think about
Putting
this.
you on the spot. Matt, anybody you'd like to see in an NBA
I would like
fight?
to see like a mean small guy, like along the lines of a Steven Jackson or
not
Jerry
super small, but yeah.
Stackhouse.
Like you know who would be really good would be like Russell Westbrook.
Oh,
'Cause he's
yeah.
so
The
aggressive.
aggression.
Yeah.
Like, did you see he almost went after Patrick
He's also
Beverly
kind of
after?
got the crazy eyes
Yeah,
too.
he almost went after Patrick Beverly after tearing his ACL.
Yeah. You know.
Like,
I want to. I don't want to see Steven Jackson fight because I've already seen it.
Okay.
And he's hilarious.
yeah,
He is.
He's
I
a
actually
really
like
funny
Steve.
dude.
And everyone that's ever played with him is like he's an amazing teammate.
Right. Everybody has glowing things to say
he's
about
also
him.
really skinny. Like,
Yeah.
you would not think he would
Thinner
be
than
like
you'd think.
He would not think he'd be a fighter looking at him if you didn't know his history.
I'm trying to think who else. LeBron hasn't been in like a serious
I would like
fight.
to see Joakim Noah versus
Ooh.
a brown bear.
What?
I mean, I just think that'd
Why
be a
a
good
brown
fight.
bear?
I don't know, a bear of some sort. Doesn't have to be a brown. It can be a grizzly.
Noah
I just
and
thought a grizzly would be a
Hansbrough.
little bit too large for him.
Noah and Hansbrough to decide who's the first and second least likable person.
Yeah.
I feel like that
NBA.
would be really lame because they're better at getting hit than
That's
hitting.
true.
You know, everybody wants to hit them, but
You wouldn't
do they
want
hit
to
back?
right. You wouldn't want to cheer for one to hit the other because you also want them hit.
Right.
That's why the grizzly bear's there.
Who wins in a fight? The Gasol brothers.
Mark.
Mark got a lot more girth.
Like,
Yeah.
Powell is pretty skinny.
Yeah.
How skinny, and you don't relish calling NBA players little bitches.
Someone here is a Lakers fan.
I am a Lakers fan, but yeah, I think Mark defensively has
destroy
shown
him.
a lot more physicality. He would destroy him.
Brian
people would-
Scalabrine versus a broom.
Scalabrine against Matt Bonner.
Ooh. The ginger off.
Did you see the clip of Matt Bonner
Ginger
and Zach-
fight?
and Zach Randolph not being able to jump on a jump ball?
Yes, that was fantastic.
Both got like 3 inches off the ground.
Yeah,
I feel like a lot of the Grizzlies would be really good. Tony Allen would be interesting.
Tony Allen would be interesting.
I mean, obviously Zebo would be really interesting.
Tony Allen was the one who tore his ACL dunking after the whistle.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was Tony Allen.
that's rough. There's like a foul at midcourt, and he keeps dribbling just for fun and dunks it and lands on his knee wrong.
man.
Tony Allen versus Lance Stevenson.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
Although I feel like Lance Stephenson would like get shoved and fall and like play dead because he flops.
Well, hey, we're getting towards the half hour mark.
Yes, we are.
Let's wrap things up and say
Let's.
start with you. What would you enjoy most this week?
What did I enjoy most this week?
Food, TV, name it.
Food, TV, name it. You know, I watched Game 7 of the Kings game, and I really
Oh.
like that. This is when I start watching hockey.
Yeah.
When my specific team is right around the Stanley Cup Finals, that's when I like watching Jonathan Quick and people. So, yeah, I had a good time watching that game. Put on my glasses so I could see the puck because I'm 147 years
Yep.
old.
Yep.
They really should bring back the thing where they light it up with the red light.
Oh man, there is presently a brick coming through your window for hockey fans.
Yeah. Travis Hughes just adjusted your brakes. Yeah.
Sorry, Travis.
Sorry.
I like the red light.
I'm
The
okay
glowing
with it.
puck?
I
didn't
can't
mind
follow the game otherwise. It's too fast.
I wouldn't want the glow to it, but I would want like the color of the actual puck to be.
They could make it a fluorescent orange.
Yeah, a fluorescent orange.
So you
Take
play
it from
hockey.
us, sport of hockey, from non-hockey fans. We know what's best.
So you want an orange puck?
I want an orange puck. That's all.
Okay.
That can't be
I
too
su-
hard.
Nobody
support
likes you
North.
guys right now.
I know.
No one.
No, I even hate myself a little bit. What was the best thing you saw, watched on TV, or ate?
I would say best thing I watched was probably Game 4, but outside
Yeah.
of sports, I binge watched all of Arrested Development.
I watched
on
the
Sunday.
first two. What are your thoughts?
So it starts really slow.
Yes.
So that's
That's
kind of
where I'm
a
at.
bummer. I think the problem is that it's impossible to like have it be as good as what it was before because you know the characters.
It's a
are-
different show.
and the characters couldn't film in the same spot.
Right. That's what I mean. Yeah.
But I want to say the first Job episode, which is the one I don't
How
want to
many in is
spoil
that?
it.
No, how
I think
many
it's
in?
7.
Okay.
The 7th because it starts kind of slow. Like
Right. It's expository.
like after episode 6, you want to kind of like turn it off, but you
Right.
have to kind of push yourself to keep going. Episode 7, I don't want to spoil it too much, but there's a pretty ridiculous magic trick and a lot of Job ridiculousness.
I can
Okay.
get
So-
down with
I'm in
that.
for that.
I think episode 7 of the new Arrested Development is probably
right.
the
That's
best
when
thing I watched.
All right, Matt.
We got the weather's been turned up a little bit here in New York City.
been real stanky.
Finally got hot. Mm-hmm. And the downside of that is we get hot garbage scent season, which is mitigated by my favorite season in New York, which is women barely wearing clothes
Oh, it's
season.
nice.
And I've seen some wonderful things this week.
Shoulders.
Oh, yeah.
Thighs.
Thank you, Robbie.
Thank you, Robbie. No, it is a nice time.
Ladies of New York, thank you.
What would you say is, and I want you to not hold back, best lady spotting area of New York,
Ooh, that's tough.
especially this time when you're seeing thighs.
The L does pretty well.
The L train.
The youths on the L.
The
yeah.
L train and F train are the most attractive trains.
F because it goes to the Lower East Side.
Yeah. And I would say that the best neighborhoods would be Soho during the week, not the weekends.
Okay.
Bryant Park does very, very well.
Fashion districts right here.
Yeah.
Now I see why we have our office here.
Also, if you walk by FIT, West Side, around like the 20s somewhere,
Right.
young models and fashion students are okay.
Robbie has a telescope.
He
So
does.
Robbie, when you look out the window at your apartment, what direction do you
Wait,
point
Robbie,
that?
you have a telescope?
No, I just made that up.
Oh, that's pretty awesome, though. I kind of want.
There's a Popeyes and a Burger King like right around the corner, and that's
Yeah.
the spot.
Yeah.
And usually it's just a homeless guy throwing up. So hot trash is more what I'm seeing than
Nice.
hot girls, but whatever.
Bryant Park has been it for me, right around here.
It's been pretty great.
It looks great. All right, so that is the Halfy Hour. Best NBA fights to our eyes. Best places to look at women in New York to our eyes. That's what we do here on the Halfy Hour. But thank you very much for watching. Be sure to check out Mike Prada on Twitter. It's Mike Prada SBN.
Yep.
There it is.
That's right.
Prada, spelled like Prada, but it's Prada because that sounds cooler.
I know. I'm sorry. I decided not to lie to you guys.
I
do lie to some people.
Do you? Have you ever gotten a restaurant, like a table at a restaurant?
No, but I've had like a lot of people ask about it, and I've.
So you
kept
haven't
up-
been able to take advantage?
Well, I mean, it depends what you mean by take advantage.
Like,
I
you
would
haven't been able to
I would
use
just
it to your
lie
favor.
my way through.
Yeah.
I haven't lied about it in a while, but when I was single, I lied about it a couple times.
Nice. So did it work though?
No,
Okay.
but it was almost.
I have a good friend whose last name is Eisner, and of course in LA with the last name
Oh,
Eisner,
yeah.
Michael Eisner, who
Yeah.
used to be the CEO of Disney, he got some tables. His family got some tables.
Yeah.
They're like, last name's Eisner, and like give him a knowing glance, and they did pretty well. So
I need to try that out.
Can't really do that with
Wait,
Ufford.
I mean, I'm not going to try that out ever.
no,
No.
no, because this show is watched by all maitre d's. All right. Thank you guys very much for watching. Follow Mike Prada on Twitter. Of course, visit SB Nation's NBA coverage early and often during the playoffs, off-season and season and everything like that. That is Matt Ufford. My name is Dan Rubenstein. Thank you very much for watching. See you next week.
Bye.